Welcome to Ventor, the Lowrider S 117, new for 2022. Let's get on it and see how it performs. So Lowrider S 117, what's special about this bike? And why should you consider one, or should you not consider it? Just left the busy Newmarket town centre. Now it's lovely Suffolk roads. Let's see how this performs. How does it differ from, say, my Fat Bob and other Harleys? Would it suit you? Does it suit me? Well, the first noticeable difference sitting on board compared to my bike is the much higher handlebars. Don't dislike that in any way. In fact, it sort of looks meaner, I think, than the lower handlebars on my Fat Bob. So I think many riders are going to prefer that, potentially. The seat is very comfortable, but then again, I've not ridden it very far yet, but initial impression is my bottom is very heavy, so that's good. The display, unlike Fat Bob, which is down here, is up here, so that is a much better position. There's a little cowl around the headlight, so there's a bit less wind on my chest, so that's having some effect. Not that it really bothers me. So some good things. But there are some things that are not good for Ventor. That is, you can see, but it doesn't have forward controls. It has mid controls. And with my long legs and the low seat height, the knees are as bent, more bent than any other bike I've got, which isn't good. And it's actually quite difficult for me to change gear with my left leg because my leg's bent. My foot's twisted at a position that if you've got short legs, your legs and feet are going to be perfect for flipping the gears up and down. So my foot is at a lower angle than it should be, and I have to take my foot off the foot peg, to change up. I think it could be adjusted, but anyway. It's not a problem because, of course, with Harley you can have full controls, whatever. But it does mean extra expense on top of the list price of the bike. Why they don't put full controls on it, I don't know. Maybe less people like full controls, but for me, they'd be essential on here. And then the riding position would be pretty cool. Pretty good, pretty good. Because Fat Bob has full controls as standard. So there we are. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here in Suffolk. It's about 20 degrees. Perfect sunshine, dry. Look at just what a day for riding a bike. And thanks very much to Newmarket Harley, Dan at Newmarket Harley, for letting me borrow this beautiful beastie. Just to see how it compares. Whilst my Fat Bob is having a 6,000 mile service. Now, one thing that can't be argued about with this bike, if you want performance off the shelf for a Harley, this has got it. Let's get around this corner up here, into third gear. It's not as good at turning as the Fat Bob, would you believe? You'd think Fat Bob would be better at, what, less? Look at it. Up to 60, the torque is immense. It doesn't feel really much different to my stage 2, which is the torque cam, Fat Bob 114. It was 117, it's more cubic inches, so the potential of this bike, I think, to give you more performance is much higher. Not sure what the cam is in these are standard, but I would think it's fairly mild. So, yeah, this is a bike that can really be tuned very, very nicely. Thrust, oh yes. So the engine gets 10 out of 10 for Harley. It is absolute grunt master. Pulls really hard from low down. Brilliant. So let's see how we get on as we exit this village. Now something else this bike has, as you'll see when I show you outside, has with the 117 engine, it's got the heavy breather air intake. And actually, I don't think GoPro's going to pick it up, but you can hear it sucking as we accelerate. This has standard exhaust, so it's quite quiet. Maybe you could hear it on Fat Bob if I didn't have the louder pipes. You can hear the air intake on this. Just as you open that throttle, see if you can hear it in a moment. Have a listen now. You hear that? Difficult to tell, but there is some air intake sucking the air in. So yeah. Despite it having standard exhausts, it does sound quite beaty. I say it doesn't turn in quite as sharply as Fat Bob. It probably does with the standard tyres. The Fat Bob standard tyres. I've got the Avon Cobra Chromes on. Make a huge difference. Fat Bob's rolls into corners absolutely brilliantly. In fact, to be honest, you probably don't need to mod this engine at all. It's got plenty of go. You will, won't you? You will. Go stage 1, stage 2. Stage 1 being the noise. a bit better, freer flowing pipes. And stage 2 being cams, etc. Where we are now was once RAF West Ratting. And one of the guys at Newmarket Harley was saying that he likes to visit just old RAF memorials. There's one down here, so let's see if it's accessible to park the bike here, and we'll have a look. Oh, there it is, then. That's where the bloody bike sinks into the ground. Oh no, that's alright. It's really super the way some of these memorials have been put together in recent times. This was in the 1989 it was unveiled. It's not just that, it's got a lovely bench with a tree. The birds are singing. And let's see what planes flew here. A little interesting RAF Ratting column. In brackets, RAF West Wickham. There we go. Right, anyway, let's get on and look at the bike. So the outside of the Lowrider S, it's got this small binnacle around the headlight, higher handlebars, twin front discs, these bronze painted wheels to go with the black or grey paint. They're the options. You've got this heavy breather on here that distinguishes it from the 114 models. You've got the cut aluminium on the cylinders to give you that shine. That looks pretty good. The standard exhausts look nice actually, they suit the bike perfectly. At the rear here you have actually a light. So run like Fat Bob with the rear lights are the indicators, if that makes sense, or in the indicators. This has a proper rear light, brake light separately. Now there's no passenger seat. You may want one. Not a problem really, because the fitting is here to put, you just get a bigger seat with a passenger seat on. So many to choose from Harley or other providers. Full control's essential for me, and yeah, it's otherwise it's pretty comfortable. Now let's just turn it on and look at the headlight. I like the front of this, it looks nice, doesn't it? It's got a good look. It's got that nice narrow look, but also quite a tall look with those slightly high handlebars. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Now what I mentioned earlier was I was having to lift my foot off the peg to change gear. I wonder if the guys at Newmarket have not got that adjusted right, because look. It's done about 70-80 miles. You think people would have noticed, but I think that could be adjusted to a more sensible position. Or someone with very short legs rode it. Well, maybe not legs as long as mine, so that's my problem. Old long legs, eh? But yeah, looking good. Black's very nice. The black paint on this. Look at the. You can look at that. Hello. Very, very good, isn't it? The reflection of the clouds. It's actually got a beautiful finish to it. Really good finish. That paint is absolutely beautiful. The way that I'm sort of inside the fuel tank. Look at that. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. So if you're going for black, this is a black bike that looks the business. They do a grey version, and I think that probably looks even better. But yeah, only you can decide on that. Anyway, let's do some more riding. Actually, let's go and find a sausage bap. Yeah, the gear change. I'm going to have a word with the guys when I get back and just see if someone's just not adjusted this right, because it's a bit silly having to lift my foot up in the air to change gear. I'm getting the hang of the cornering of this bike. Now I can feel it's slightly slower to turn in, Fat Bob. You know, I've adapted to it now and it feels absolutely fine. So it's just what you're used to, isn't it, from different bikes? Just what you're used to. Yeah, so don't think that when I said earlier it doesn't turn in well. It's sluggish. It isn't. It isn't at all. It is very good, actually. Lovely village to ride through. Just like Fat Bob. Fourth gear is perfect for going around villages at 30 miles an hour. Pulls nicely, not too many revs. Perfect. So what is 117? To those of you who don't know, it's cubic inches, and that equates to 1,900 and something cc. I'll put the exact amount on the screen. Enjoy riding this. Despite the foot position and the stupid gear lever being up in the air, it's yeah, it's lovely. It really is at home on these little twisty roads, just like Fat Bob is. Now I'm avoiding giving the old red line and all that sort of stuff, just because this bike's done under 100 miles from new, so best respect that aspect of it. I actually like the handlebar position. It's nice. It's a nice position. In fact, you know, it'd be tempting to get slightly higher ones even if I had this, just because it suit the look, wouldn't it? Yeah, tall handlebars on Fat Bob just would look silly. But this, it'd look alright. Look pretty good, I think. I must say, also in corners, it, you know, it feels more confidence-inspiring than one would have thought. I think there's quite a lot of ground clearance. These foot pegs are high off the ground. You got any worry about scraping, like I do sometimes on the Fat Bob. So yeah, if you're into cranking it on corners, I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? Here we go, Cafe 33 again. Let's go and get a BAP. Bacon and egg sandwich, lovely. Just finished my lovely bacon and egg sandwich. A cup of tea at Cafe 33. Now back on some more beautiful roads to Newmarket. So, let's give some conclusions on the Lowrider S. It's a performance Harley Davidson, without doubt. The 117 heavy breather fed engine is immense. Off the shelf, so to speak, it is probably going to be one of the quickest Harleys. The Sportster's still faster, but it's nothing quite beats an air-cooled massive V-twin. This is massive. Absolutely massive. The grunt, just brilliant. Handles very well, just as good as Fat Bob, maybe slightly slower turn in, but actually once in the corners you feel quite confident, and that you can crank it quite a lot because of the higher foot pegs. Aha. So yeah, I like these. I like the high handlebars. I like the look of the stance of the front. The whole bike looks awesome. The bronze wheels, some will not like them, some will like them. I think they look quite good. Bit retro. Yeah, single seat, no good. But, you know, if you don't take a passenger, it's fine. That's very comfortable. Of course, you can swap that out. So, yeah, it's... I'm just trying to show you the features of this bike. I'm not saying you should buy it above any other Harley. They're just all full of different... They're all different characters. That's the great thing about Harley Davidson motorcycles. And then you can change their character to suit you. How you want them to be. Now, I've not been to that pub. Looks attractive. Anyway, let's go off the point, isn't it? So yeah, if you think this appeals to you, and if you want speed and power in a Harley with the big engines, this is probably the one to go for. It's not too heavy, but it has the most power from the Milwaukee 8. So, yeah, quite a good formula there, I would say. I wonder how my low handlebars of the Fat Bob are going to feel after sitting upright on this. I quite like these higher handlebars, to be honest. I do like the position. Now I've got used to them. Yeah, combine them with some really decent forward controls and the riding position would be rather lovely. It really would. Really good. So yeah, if I was to swap over to this bike, well, it would be expensive for me. Because I'd be adding all the extras I mentioned earlier. And several £1,000s later. But there we are. Probably best to stick with Fat Bob, which is awesome anyway. Really, most of my videos have been aimed at those of you who are really interested in Harley or already have Harley. And, you know, how does this compare to other Harleys? You know, compared to a sports bike, it's going to feel like an agricultural slow tractor. It depends what you... Not that I've ridden a sports bike. Still never ridden a sports bike. Whether I could actually get on board one without breaking my knees, snapping them off, I don't know. Probably difficult. So, it doesn't really interest me. But there we are. Yeah, this is going to feel sluggish and agricultural in comparison. But it's not what it's about, is it? But let's go to you guys who have sort of think a Harley is for you. And should I go for one? Should I actually be going for all these massive Milwaukee 8 beasts? Well, this is probably the time to do it, because before long the old eco warriors are going to have us all riding electric mopeds. And even, well, in shocking news I heard the other day is that motorcycling's now banned at weekends in German mountains. They claimed it was because of noise pollution. German mountain roads. Well, how come they've also banned electric motorbikes? There you go. So you think, oh, it's all right. The anti-motorcycle, anti-petrol people and the greedies, they're going to stop us from riding petrol bikes. But we'll be all right. We'll get an electric bike, like my Energy Kit, for instance. No, they're going to stop you from riding that as well. In fact, cars are evil. There's even some professor saying that electric cars make a lot of pollution from their tyres. Hold on, so you can't have anything with tyres on. What about the bus? Or your push bike? You just have to stay at home. It's a weird world we live in, guys. While you can, get a big fuck-off engine like this and ride it. So when I get back, if my bike's ready, we'll pop this beside it and we'll look at the difference between Fat Bob and the Lowrider S, because both of them similar price if you buy one new. So which will you go for? Let's have a look when we get back. Because as I filmed the bikes outside of Newmarket Harley, there was copyrighted music. I've had to cut the audio out. So I thought, well, the bikes speak for themselves. So you can just watch them with some music. Thanks for watching Fen Tour today. Hope you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you on the channel very soon. Bye bye.